Have you ever heard the term, the first place you lose weight is the last place that you gained it? Eh, So, happy summer, everybody. Here's another update. I'm another pound down, so things are going great. If you've been watching my recent videos, it's all about this Blend 50 way of losing weight, and I'll give you a little update on how to do that in just a second. But I did want to say how when you're in the movement of losing weight and you get frustrated, like me, I'm frustrated. I look down, I'm like, I still need to lose weight in my belly, yet I'm losing weight where I didn't expect it. Not that there's huge changes here in my face, but when I look at old pictures of me, I don't have as much here anymore, and my legs are thinner. So it's kind of like an egg on toothpicks. I'm like, I want to lose weight around the egg and not down on the toothpicks. But there is that saying that you start losing weight off of the last place you gained it. So like as you gain weight, whether you're kind of like at the maximum on the scale and you're like, okay, I've never weighed this much, and you notice like, wow, my above my knees have never been larger, or my face is so puffy. When you lose weight, that's the first place you'll lose it with most people. So in a way, that's kind of cool because you can see some immediate results in some places. It may not be exactly where you want it to be in the beginning, like in your belly, but I just thought that was just an interesting thing to know, like sometimes how weight loss progresses. Well, an update to how it's going. I am another pound down. And for those of you who don't know yet, I'm doing an alternate plan where one day I'm Rule of 5, the next day I'm keto. And how exactly I'm doing that is on my Rule of 5 day, I count carbs to fiber. So whatever I'm going to eat, I look up the label or I look it up online if it doesn't have a label. I count the amount of carbohydrates, I divide it by the fiber. If the answer is the number 5 or less, that's what I call a free food. And I eat that without measuring or counting servings or anything like that. I just eat if I'm hungry, and those are the things I eat without measuring. If it scores in at more than a 5, say those chips I showed on the last video, I think they came in, the answer was 7, then I will kind of portion it out. I just won't eat as much as I want. I'll portion it out a little bit, but it's still kind of close to 5. So I'm like, well, that's an okay food. I'll just eat a little bit of it. But it's funny, I was looking at something that was supposedly healthy the other day, and it came in at like 28 grams of carbs, 1 gram of fiber. So that came in at a 28. I am absolutely not eating that. If you saw a moving blanket back there, my son's under the blanket back there. He doesn't want to be on the video. But so that's why it's like these so-called healthy health foods, like, for example, certain yogurts you can buy in the grocery store, they may come in at a score of like 30 grams of carb, 1 gram of fiber. I mean, if you're trying to lose fat and you're insulin resistant or you're menopausal or you're over the age of 50, probably not the best choice. There are sugar-free, fat-free yogurt that does not have a bunch of artificial sweeteners in it. The chemicals, because that can actually spike insulin too. I like stevia or stevia, however you pronounce it, as a sweetener. I think that's pretty safe. I'm not using honey right now. I will when I get to my goal weight. I'll probably use honey again. I'm not using any table sugar to sweeten anything. So you do what you can. So I'll follow Rule of 5 day. Then the next day I follow a keto day. So for me, I'm doing an egg or two in the morning. For me, it's been hard boiled. It's just easier that way. And in the evening, I do either a can of tuna, a can of salmon, or a tiny bit of salmon, or if all else fails, you could do like a baked chicken breast. So pick a protein, basically. And I love Dijon mustard. I put it on everything, so I throw that on there for flavor. I kind of like to use the turmeric spice. You sprinkle it on. It gives it a really good savory flavor. And turmeric is anti-inflammatory. So I think that's kind of great too. And so what I have found that works for me is alternating the days of eating like that. And it's kind of exciting because the days that are my like egg and protein keto day, I look really forward to the next day where I'm going to be able to have like my healthy carbs, fruit, yogurt, all that stuff. And on my Rule of 5 day, because when I'm eating more, that's when I'm doing a harder workout, like I'm riding my bike for an hour or doing a hike that I can do. And again, on my keto day, I'm taking it very easy. Like yesterday was a keto day. I got wrapped up in cleaning parts of the house, and then I saw patients, so I was busy for a few hours doing that, and then I was exhausted. So that kind of worked. It's not as fast doing it this way, like losing a pound a day. I bet I could lose a pound a day if I followed the keto plan and hard exercise every day, but I'm 55. I can't physiologically do that anymore. My body is like not okay to do that. So for me, alternating it every day, and the rule of 5 day, it's all healthy, nutrient dense food. So I think that's a really, for me, a safe thing to do. I honestly keep saying for me because I understand everybody responds to things differently. Everyone's metabolism is different. I just think generally what I'm doing would be very safe for most women over 50 that are menopausal. I know women over 70 have different nutrition requirements because you're dealing with more, I do worry about bone health and, how their balance is. And I don't think maybe being super keto and then getting dizzy and then they have a loss of balance, that's probably not a great idea either. There has to be kind of a different plan for that. So I'm not going to go over that today, but I'm not saying what I'm doing is for everyone, but if you're similar to me, insulin resistant, over 50, menopausal, gained weight around your middle that won't seem to come off no matter how much you exercise, yeah, this is kind of what I have discovered really works well. And I don't feel like I'm suffering because I look forward to the rule of 5 days, because you can make a really fabulous smoothie that tastes good, and you can have your crunchy things, and there's just so many things you can eat. There's a lot of soups and chilies in the grocery store that you can find that are definitely rule of 5, because beans are very high in fiber. So I really like adding beans, or even certain brands of refried beans you could have with like a fat-free or not fat-free, but a no-carb or a very low-carb tortilla, or you could cut up the tortilla and bake it and then use it with the chips. I even eat guacamole on my rule of 5 day, and salsa. So I have my chips and salsa and guacamole and a delicious smoothie, and it's still all allowed. And I'm still losing weight, so it's kind of great. So I did want to mention the importance of being really careful with exercise. When I say that I ride my bike for an hour, well, a month ago, I wasn't riding my bike for an hour. I was maybe doing, 15 minutes, and then I was like, whoo, I'm out of shape. But like you build up to it. So if you're not riding your bike, hey, maybe walking, and maybe you put on some, comfortable shoes, not flip-flops, nothing you're going to trip and fall on, but leave your front door and go walking for 5 or 10 minutes, and then turn around and come back. Boom. You've done your first day of exercise. And then on day 2, go a little farther. Day 3, go a little farther, and work up to 30 minutes a day until you finally work up to an hour a day. So on your rule of 5 day, I think an hour of exercise, not that you're pushing it 100% the entire time for that hour, but you can kind of do ebbs and flows, like push it really hard for 2, 3, 5 minutes, whatever your body allows, and then ease it off for 2, 3, 5 minutes, and so on. And that's almost like that intermittent type of exercise where you actually burn more calories during that way, and then you can sustain doing it for the hour. So I wanted to mention that too, that was important to be safe with that. So that's the update so far for today. Comment below if you guys are trying this and how it's working for you, and what kind of protein you picked in the evening, because I would be really curious to know. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you on the next one.